I've been standing here for about 5 minutes, and it's the slowest 5 minutes I've ever had. So I'm just gonna go live right now.
How's the protest going?
It goes. So I just went live. So I always start from here, and we time how fast they close up. So yeah.
Give enough people and they will close up.
Yeah. My husband was awake because he works nights, so he's asleep. He actually was awake for our conversation last time.
So what do you think?
Just most of it was good. He liked the fact that people know what's going on and you're really well informed. So we like that. And to be honest, that's the thing about right now. And I'm a few minutes early, so I don't mind waiting. I could not stand here for 4 more minutes. I came down here thinking I don't want them to get their hooks into our young people, but 80% of people that come by already know, because they don't know how to combat social media.
Well, it's not just that. They also don't get the fact that people don't want to be controlled.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing
that too
with some of these other.
And to be honest, most of the members they have now are either joined in the 70s when Dianetics was a big thing, or their second and third generation they were put in as kids
and don't know
any different. So they're really not getting new people, and that's mainly my goal, is to stand there and either educate people that don't know and make sure their doors are closed. They closed the LA. You got to go watch the LA people. They closed down their Hollywood doors and they haven't opened back up, even when they're not there.
Yeah.
Because they know they'll show up as soon as they do.
Which is good, because it's one thing to be political and manipulate people because people expect it. But when you claim to be a religion, you got enough religions that manipulate. You don't need another one, especially one that's not even really that old.
And it's not really a religion. They don't have a deity. They believe in the tech, and you're not allowed to have thoughts outside of the church. Even as a public, just somebody that goes in and pays, you have these things called auditing sessions, which are kind of like interrogations.
Yeah.
And if they find out you've been looking at something you're not supposed to, like Aaron Smith Levin, he's one of our biggest channels, and he goes after Grant Cardone all the time. But Grant Cardone can never sue him for defamation because he can't know that he even exists.
Yeah.
So he knows he's safe, and he says, and I want him to sue me. I would love discovery.
Yeah.
So
I would love to really.
Yeah, he's like, he would love it. So.
Well, because it would put a foot up their ass, because their whole thing is all about tech, and here they would be suing somebody, which has nothing to do with tech. And it goes against.
Yeah, and they say their tech helps them communicate and helps them combat, but yet as soon as you show up, they close up, and if you try to talk to them, they won't even talk to you.
They won't even give you the time.
Yep. So I got to get moving. It's time now.
Yeah.
I wasted my couple minutes. Oh, I thought I had you on camera. It was me the whole time. Jeez. I don't want him to see me. Hey guys, who's all here today?
Have fun.
Hey Dragon Mad, what's happening? All right. Yeah, I was a little bit early, and with the amount of coffee I drink on the way here, it's really hard for me to wait. I stood there for 5 minutes, and then it was 26, and then and I'm like, I can't stand here for 3 more minutes. So luckily she came up and killed me a few minutes. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. I have my earbud in again. Let me disengage that. Hold on. I gotta bring down Bluetooth. Because I was listening to, on the way here, I listen to podcasts and stuff. Can you hear me okay? I turned off my earbud. Should be better. Could you hear her? Because I never know when I go live if it's actually on my earbud or not. I need to figure out how they work, because when they do the music, somebody told me that it will cancel the noise. Let's see. I'm in Austin, Texas. They opened this org in February, and I started coming down the week prior to let them know they weren't welcome. and we were here when they were setting up. And then I couldn't believe, we didn't even know Pearl Snappy, she's the other big, she's a big channel down here. Because I learned everything from her. I kept asking her, because I kept trying to put my email out to coordinate. And she's like, I don't know if anybody's coming. Oh, you wouldn't believe how many people showed up. It was amazing. I stayed up front, even though I was out back for a while. They had a bus across the intersection blocking us. So I just had a sign that said, honk if you hate Scientology, and I just made a lot of noise with honking. So, but yeah, since you obviously are new, I can't, King's Kid. Hi, Susan. And I was just checking. See this all right here, King's Kid? This is the University of Texas campus. L. Ron Hubbard bought this building 55 years ago, but it took him until this year to open it. And he did it on purpose so he could get young people. And the week or two after this opened, they opened Chicago right across or next to a university. And the problem now is because they waited so long that 80% of the young people that go by me already know. They already know it's to stay away if they don't know like all the details. And the 20% that don't want to, my sign says it's a call, ask me why, and we talk about it. Watch this if you're new. Time it, let's see. Somebody time it, okay, 56. Alrighty. SPTVfoundation.org. It was made by ex-members to help you get out. They would love to help you. And freeloader debt is not enforceable in the real world. A church cannot take debts from you for church services. I'm not on my game today. Sorry, guys. So, 56 to 34. Oh, okay. So you know where you couldn't tell down there where I was from. I get it. Sorry about that. But I do that so that I come up on them and they don't realize I'm coming. I stop down there because I drive about an hour and a half, depending on traffic. Sometimes it's better. I stop at the pizza place down there to go to the bathroom and get a water. And so I just go live down there. So I'm about to set up. The camera's going to shake. Look away if you're like me and you get motion sickness. All right, hang on. Because I have it mostly open when I'm walking. That's why it's awkward. That way I don't have to do too much when I get here. I just have to bring the legs down one section. And open it up. Oh, it's being difficult today. There we go. I'm done. I'm going to stay out front. Since I don't need to stand under the tree, it's not raining. I'm going to stay right out front for a little. Oh, sorry, that was too fast. Sorry about that. I was switching hands and moving my wagon and all that stuff. I like my wagon up here. Again, my stuff situated. Days I've done long days. Kind of wanted a stool, but I'm good today. Alrighty. I know, right? Me too. That's what I'm here for. Thanks, King's Kid. I appreciate that. That's what motivates me to get here, because boy, I wanted to call off today. I really did. I was laying there. I was hitting my alarm, not wanting to get up. I was watching Jay go to bed at 2 a.m. That's midnight for him. I'm like, I gotta go to bed. So, plus that reminds me I have a headache. And I was a Girl Scout leader, so I come prepared with everything, including ibuprofen. Hang on just a second. See, got me some ibuprofen. Yeah, if I'm more than 30 minutes away from my house, I have a change of clothes in the car, and I have I have 3 days of my meds with me in case they want to arrest me. Ooh, I should have hit the sanitizer before I put those in my mouth. Gross. Ew, ew, ew. I'm a germaphobe. And I was like that long before COVID. I wasn't like that when I was younger. I was just like everybody else and didn't care. I sat on the floor, didn't care. But when I got into daycare and had to do training and I learned about cross-contamination. Oh, I missed them. That kind of grossed me out. Yeah, it does. But it's easy to be dedicated to. Because, like I've told people that have walked by, I'm all for religious freedom. All for it. As long as you're not hurting people. And what brought me here was the rampant child abuse, because they don't believe children are children. They don't believe children are children. They believe they're big beings in small bodies, so they abuse them like adults. And put them to work and pull them out of school. I hate to tell you how much money you could be making in the real world. Just make sure I didn't miss anybody. Ah, I did. So many are visiting other locations that I wasn't sure if you were still there. Oh, I see. Oh, I would have loved to, but I want to go. Hi, Bob. Good to see you here. I'm kind of waiting. Aaron doesn't understand what a true meetup is. He said that because I asked him in a super chat or a comment, and he said, well, I think a meetup is me showing up and maybe going to protest, and then if we go out that night, that's a meetup. See, I was a follower of Popcorn Planet before this, and before that, I didn't watch YouTube at all. It was the Johnny Depp trial. Well, in end of 2022, they had a Vegas meetup, and it was planned well in advance because two of their people on the channel are in different countries. So Steph had to come from England, Kim had to come from Canada, and one of their viewers, the reason it all started was a viewer bought them all front row tickets to the Vegas Johnny Depp Jeff Beck concert. That's $1,200 a piece. And she helped them with airfare and hotels. This woman was amazing. And so I was like, I was still flat on my back. I was bedridden for quite a few years. But it was the first time I ever really wanted to. I'm not a groupie kind of person. If I saw a movie star, I'd be like, yeah, okay, hi. You know, if they want to, like, talk to me, great. But this was different. It was, you know, some people that I respected. They were people like me, but I wanted to meet them, and I wanted to see other people from the channel that were going to be there. And so I bought one of those $200 econo tickets where you get just the carry-on or personal bag. And boy, I had to really stuff my bag. And to be honest, there were 2 meetups, and other than those meetups, I was in the hotel room on my back. So they had one before the concert. That was nice. It was a little more intimate. It was a little bar. Well, the next night they picked a really ruckus bar type scene. It was really hard to talk to each other, but it was still fun. So, and I got to meet Lewis from Nerd Report, because he's part of that community. The lawyer that he has on all the time, Christopher Melcher. Kim, she was a costume designer. She came, and then of course Steph, Kim, all them came. It was fun. It was super fun. It was so worth it. First time I ever traveled anywhere by myself, other than back home with the kids for holidays when my husband was overseas. Stephanie decided last September that she was going to go visit Lewis in LA. Well, I had already booked my tickets for 3 weeks to visit my new grandbaby in Southern California. And right after that, she announced the date she was going to be there, and Andy from Popcorn Planet said, well, I'm going to come anyway. Well, all I had to do was extend my stay for a week and rent a car and go up, and that was fun. It was at a big place where they had claw machines and bowling and karaoke, and we sat around these tables. A bunch of people showed up, and then they did karaoke. A lot of people didn't stay for that. That was super fun. Then the week I started protesting here in February, Andy from Popcorn Planet just happened to announce he was going to be in Houston. And I'm like, well, we can go. It's my husband's day off. He's off during the week. So we drove 7 hours round trip. And that was the first time I really got to have like an intimate conversation with Andy. You know, there were so many people before. And I was by myself. I kind of hung back. And so my husband was there. It was a very small group because it was very short notice. So it was just people in the area. And that was really, really great. And so that's more what I think people would like to see, is a meetup that's planned at least a couple months in advance so people can make plans and buy plane tickets and stuff. Because we had people, the first one in Vegas, we had people come from Belgium, we had people come from England, Canada, all over the United States. It was pretty cool. So I know I'm running on, but I'm trying to give people time to come on. So anyway, I'm going to try to email Aaron. He's responded to a couple of my emails, but that was early on with the opening of the org. There's been other emails. I don't know if he saw him or didn't see him, because I know they get inundated with emails. So I'm going to try to email him and explain what I'm envisioning and why, and explain, you know, what we did with Popcorn Planet, because he knows Andy Signor. He's been on, and that was so cool because he was on Popcorn Planet. And I was like, man, my two worlds just crossed over. I'm just totally, you know, think that's great. Because I'm not really a fan of any other communities. Because I don't have the time. Matter of fact, sorry, Andy, but I've kind of not been able to watch Popcorn Planet as much as I used to. Because I'm usually here Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's when he's live. So sometimes I catch it on the way home, or I watch on replay. But even when I'm gone for a while, people are like, where you been? I was in the chat so much. So they probably forgot about me by now. But anyway, we had t-shirts made up that we could order. Popcorn Planet Vegas had them sign it. Then I washed it and it all came off because I'm stupid and didn't use a fabric paint marker. I used a Sharpie. But you know, it wasn't just to meet the YouTubers. It was also to meet other, you know, followers, fans, whatever you want to call. I call y'all our army, really. To meet everyone else, people that you see in chat, but you don't know them. You don't know what they look like. You've never heard their voice. That's the reason in the future I want to do call-in chats. I want to meet people. And so anyway, that's what I would like to do. And I kind of did part of the first meetup. Everybody was like, well, we got people flying in different days. They're going to be here a day early and not have anything to do. And everybody's like, well, should we do lunch? Should we do? And nobody was coming to a consensus. So I said, you know what? I went online. I found a really good place for breakfast. I scheduled a brunch. I said, all right, I'm having a brunch at this restaurant at this time. Be there or not. And I got off the plane, got my rental car, went to Walmart, and went to the meetup, the breakfast meetup. And a bunch of people showed up. It was super fun. So that's kind of what I feel like I might have to do, is just kind of, the only person I really want to coordinate it with is Aaron. Find out when Aaron can be there, then maybe coordinate with a couple other, you know, we've got the LA YouTubers that the Squirrel Squad, I would love to be there, and William, and, you know, all of those, Jenna, whoever lives out there, I would love to see. So I'm going to try to contact him, and I'd like to do it in the fall, honestly, because even California in the summer, I don't know if that might be better for some people. So maybe I want to talk to him first, and then if we can kind of come up with a consensus of when to do it, then I might throw it out there to see what's going on. So anyway, all right, I lost a couple people, probably because I'm mumbling. I had a lot of coffee on the way here. I have a 30-ounce tumbler with a little bit of ice in it. So that's about 20 ounces of coffee I drank on the way here. And I can tell. So, anyway, if y'all have any ideas on that or comments on that, and leave it on, I might put it on the community page. I try not to put too much on the community page because the stuff I do have I want people to see, like the Dianetics book reading. I'm not going to call it a book club because I heard right after I was thinking of it that Nora and somebody else is going to do an actual book club of some books, so I didn't want to call it that. We're just going over Dianetics, and that's it. So Dianetics reading is, or Dianetics synopsis, because if it takes more than 5 or 10 minutes to read the chapter, I'm just going to do a synopsis and find some highlights, because I've been so interested in it because of people like Mitch Brisker and those people that came in the 70s with the Dianetics, and they're selling it again, which, by the way, they have changed. It was re-released in 2007 with an added title, more to the title, and Reddit said there's a bunch of differences in the book. So I'm going to go over that too. So each Sunday afternoon, probably about 3 or 4 o'clock, because I realize there are some channels that, like Aaron, that do evening type stuff on Sundays. So I'm going to try to do it between 3 and 5. When I get the book, it hasn't come yet. I bought it on eBay, and they send it the slowest mail possible. If they would have allowed me to expedite it, I would have, but it wasn't available. Oh, so I wanted to wait till I had a few more people to really get into what my title is about. And last live stream, I completely didn't even go over what my title was about. I totally forgot and got involved in some other things, and I didn't get sleep that night. I was pretty zoned. So I have to be careful with this headache. So I have notes because I don't want to get sidetracked. But since I made the notes, there's been more people talking about it. And y'all know what I'm talking about. My thumbnail says it all. So when I wrote these notes, it was while Aaron was doing the first live about what was going on. And to be honest, I was shocked. But not surprised. I was shocked. But then when I thought about it, not really. So I have, let's see. So I have this. I'm not going to read them word for word because some of it, he's come back the next day and talked about a few other things. See how many pages? I wasn't even done writing. I was upset. There was things I wanted to remember that he talked about. Oh, only 3, but I wasn't done. So, Mike Render, Leah Remini, Mark and Claire Headley, Stephanie Hutchins, Aaron and SPTV, we're going to talk. May the force be with you. Hello. So, the good. So, I'm going to give the good points of these people first, because I don't want to be just completely negative about all of it. And Aaron kind of put me in my place a little bit yesterday, I think, when, or maybe it was during that live, because I have said this several times that, SPTV has evolved and moved on without them, and has evolved and moved on without them, and we don't need them anymore. Well, he said that he disagreed with that part. The first part, I can't remember what I said, to be honest with you. He said he disagreed, that they are still needed, that they've done a lot of good, and they're still supposedly doing good with the Aftermath Foundation. He's never talked bad about the Aftermath Foundation itself, its mission, or that he's never boycotted them or told them not to use them or go with them at all. Aaron when he comes out with these bombshells, personal information, or the the deets or the receipts, he only does it when he's pushed into a corner. You know, he really does try to stay. He wants to stay pretty positive for the most part until, you know, people need him not to be. The door was opening. Somebody went in. I'm going to turn it a little bit this way because they come from the left a little bit more. So maybe I'll see them coming. When I get to talking, sometimes I miss what's going on around. Alright. So, I feel differently, and I'll get into it. But the good is there were people, I am not going to say this, that there were not people before them that spoke out, that wrote books, that brought a spotlight onto Scientology. But we all know that when Leah Remini did hers, that it was a big deal to the non-Scientology community. She was a celebrity. She was a Scientologist. She was a second gen. She wrote the book. She got, you know, a lot of fair gaming. She got in trouble with Hollywood, but she stood her ground. And so people listened. Then, I don't even know how the Aftermath show came about. And I know there are other documentaries and such. And I still haven't watched it yet because I'm spending so much time on SPTV and creator channels that I think I've heard enough for the most part to not right now need to watch it. But there's people's stories on there that only told their story on the show and you don't have a channel, didn't write a book, and that kind of thing. So yes. And then Mike Render was, the big honcho that got out and spoke out and wrote a book. And then Mark and Claire, Mark wrote a book. So, those were all good things for their time. And they worked for their time. Because even when the Aftermath show was out, social media and YouTube wasn't what it is now. I mean, things can evolve so quickly. And, just 3 or 4 years ago, YouTube, it wasn't what it is now. Bob, they are all damaged, expect little from them. And that's something else I'll get into about their behavior. So I don't want to knock their contributions, but they're in the past. Talk of Scientology, what's up? I was looking up pictures of the protest in Austin, and the only picture I could find that wasn't out back was you with your sign. They didn't get me. I was off to the side. So that's cool. So yes, they were important, very important. I will never knock that. But things have evolved with when SPTV first started. It was a fun thing. They put the SPTV logo on their channels, the Headleys and Aaron, and and stuff. And I saw what was going to happen. I bought a web domain, like right then, because they had said Scientology likes to buy up web domains. And so, I made an email, and I was trying to get with Claire about it. I super chatted her like 3 different shows. And she's like, oh, yes, I'm totally interested in that. I would love to talk to you about it. Email me. Well, I did. A lot. A few times. I won't say a lot. A few times. And I just kind of gave up on it. And then I was like, well, I'll just talk to Aaron about it. And I have written Aaron an email once or twice, but I didn't really push the issue. What I wanted was kind of what they're doing now, but more expansive. I wanted it to be a place you could go for links to everything, and upcoming events, and a way for people to plan, things, protests, you could put anything on there, contact information, all of that. Only I can't run it or make it. So what my goal was is to get with either Claire or Aaron and them to get me in touch with a fan or somebody that they trust that could help me create it, and then a couple, 2 or 3 people that could help me keep it up. 'Cause I can't do it. I don't know how to make a website or any of that stuff. Anyway, moving on. So now in present tense. So I watched SPTV get to be more, get to expand. And the only person that really worked at that was Aaron. I watched him, every single ex-Scientology he had on the show or talked to or met, whatever, he encouraged them to create a channel. He said, it doesn't matter if you have one video on there, tell your story, create a channel. Then he watched, William Good start what he was doing, and he highlighted that. Then the Squirrel Squad, and he highlighted that. Then when protester channels started popping up everywhere, he totally encouraged it. And I think he was encouraging it way back with the Squirrel Squad. Hey, look at all these people on TikTok that are showing up. And look what they're accomplishing. So I feel like, okay, he's not the leader. We don't have a leader. But I felt like, I was talking to my husband in the car, and I said, he's like the godfather of SPTV. He's like, he encouraged everyone, and he wanted it to expand and be something more. And and the other ones, they did a little, but not like he did. And yeah, he had a bigger channel. I get that. But I never watched their channels in the first place very often. I usually watch them as a group. But their channels were, they did some interviews, they had some live streams, and he would do his Mark Headley would do his spy files. And okay, it's there, it's interesting. But it could have been something more than it was. I appreciate the fact that Claire is being witnesses in court cases and things like that. And that's very appreciative that she's able to do that. But all of that is, the earlier stuff is kind of becoming obsolete. And I think, and he said he didn't, Aaron has been trying to be, even though he's bringing out the receipts, he's telling us what's going on behind the scenes, and they're hurting him, his feelings in doing all this. But he still, doesn't, okay, this is my own words, my own opinion. As a never end, we're on the outside looking in, and we see their behavior, we see their comments, we see what they did, and like he said, it's right, we're not that upset about him being voted off the Aftermath Foundation board. It's how they did it. That is the big issue. So my opinion is, to be honest, I think they're jealous. I think they're jealous and angry and afraid because they're becoming irrelevant. Mike Rinder, unless he does something new, unless he comes out and talks more about, the things he saw in Scientology, unless he does that, he's irrelevant at this point. The same thing with the others. They wrote their books. Unless they start doing more, and that may be all they want to do. Cult, I agree with what you are saying 100%. I am so disappointed in how the Aftermath Foundation played out back in November. Just wow. I said the just part. Yeah, exactly. When he told us why, I'm like, first of all, when he explained his personal life, and he explained it was 5 years ago that, he kind of started living his own life. What I saw with all of that is what the rest of us went through when we were teenagers, 18, 19, 20, learning how to date, learning how to meet the right people, going through crazy people. That's what I saw. Somebody just did that late in life, you know? You can't always know how crazy somebody is until you get to know them. So I feel bad for him that these people find it necessary to bash him. Like that other girl with the channel. I don't even know her name. I think I saw a clip of her channel once because she had somebody like Mitch on or somebody else. And I saw how small her channel is. Well, I don't diss on small channels, but I don't take a small channel like that to be much of a threat, you know? And then when I saw how, you know, just vitriolic and talking shit, gossiping that it was, that's not the kind of stuff I want to watch. And that's not the kind of stuff we have on here. When Aaron brings out the receipts and he has to tell us what's going on, you know, he's not doing it to be gossipy. He doesn't want to continue to talk about it. I mean, he could, you know, bank on that for weeks if he wanted to. And so most of us, we want to see realness, we want to see honesty, and we don't want to see this vitriol and this gossip that's going on the Discord. I've never once gone to the Discord channel. I was never in the chat rooms way back when the internet was new. That's kind of what I heard Discord was. And yeah, I like to be in the chat, but that's like short lines about whatever is going on the screen for the most part. That's a bit different. We're all pretty much, you know, on the same page or whatever. But I don't need to spend hours of my time on a chat room just talking crap about people. And all I had to hear was it was hateful. All they did was talk bad about people, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't need that. And then so you've got, and it's a very minute number of people. 90%, 95% of us don't want that, aren't a part of that. So I think they watched how, I mean, they probably already had this plan for other reasons, because Aaron was already a bigger channel than they were and was already more of a driving force in early 2023, because I found him in 2022 and he was just posting videos. Love and life, agreed, right? So, whenever I read the chat, I get lost. Oh, my head. Early 2023. I remember watching him in January 2023, and he said, I'm going to go live from now on. I'm not going to edit. It takes too much time. And I'm going to do it like 3 times a day. And this is the year David Miscavige will rue the day I have a YouTube channel. And that's what he did. And so I look for his stuff all day long, because he does fairly, when I see a video that's 2.5 or hour and a half long, unless it's a subject I'm very interested in, I'm gone. Well, not now. Early on, I was like that, but now we've got live channels, protest channels, people that have something to say for an hour and a half. You know, I don't expect people to stay with me for an hour and a half, but that's okay. But there are people that I do want to hear from, like Nora for an hour and a half, or Aaron, or, you know, those kind of people. So anyway, I think part of it was they already had an issue way beyond what they said it was. They saw that he was growing and he was well liked and respected in the community, and they were the OGs. They were the first ones on the scene. They were the ones that wrote books. They were the ones that produced the Aftermath show or were on it. They were the face of the anti-Scientology movement, and it was leaving them behind. And they thought in their culty mind that if they got rid of Aaron and tried to spread rumors about him, that, oh, we would all turn on him and we would all flood back. Oh, Mr. Rinder, oh, you know, oh, Leah Remini, you are the god and goddess of Scientology. Well, it didn't happen. So David Miscavige drives a $240,000 Bentley, and you guys make $200 a week if you get paid. Just left the door open. And they could have changed and grow with it, but they didn't know how. They didn't know how to grow. And I gotta be honest, you know, it may have something to do with, like, Mike Render's older. They're all older. You know, they don't understand the social media. They don't understand what it was going to become. I did, because I watched another community called Popcorn Planet explode, because people found that community and resonated with that community, and he pivoted to, he still does pop culture justice, but he's mellowed in, you know, just going after the story, and he tries to put a human bent on it after watching what Johnny Depp went through, and he went through himself. So anyway, I think that is my opinion on why that all started. And it had to grow. It had to evolve. It was gonna stagnate. The show was over. They had little channels. They weren't doing anything new or interesting, except they were all learning too. If you remember, when they first started going on all together, they had to learn how to do that. They didn't know how to stream multiple channels on the same stream. I remember watching them figure that out. And so Aaron evolved with the times and with the internet and with social media, and I don't think they just understood how to do it. All they knew was, you know, what they had been doing. Render is afraid of being prosecuted. I'm going to get to that too. So that's what I mean. So they couldn't stand on a TV show made, and I have a blank for the year because I don't remember when it aired, but I know it was years ago. Him and Leah can't stand on that anymore. I guess they had a podcast, or have a podcast, but I don't know how many people actually listen to it. We've got too many YouTube channels and TikTok to watch now. And, you know, the books they wrote is only about their experience in Scientology. And, you know, you can only read a book once. Bob, yeah. And see, that's where I say us never ends on the outside. I think we see a bit more. Our eyes are more open because we're not used to this kind of behavior. Whereas the people, you know, first of all, you know, the second and third gens, and some of them are first gens, they're just, but you know what I mean, ex-members. They don't know any other life. And if they're not getting therapy, or they're not surrounded by a group of friends that are different, if they're all staying with Scientology friends, they're not going to learn how to act any different. Everything they've done is the way Scientology would have done it, because that's all they know. So they only wrote about their experience, but there are hundreds more stories to be told. Aaron, I already said, Aaron encouraged SPTV to grow beyond 4 people. Because originally it started with the Headleys, Mike, and Aaron, for the most part. And then it just bloomed from there. I already said, okay, so I'm going through my notes. One of the examples of him encouraging ex-members to tell their story on YouTube was Jenna Miscavige was on, and he told her, start a channel. Even if it only has one video, your story, there are people out there that want to hear it. And that just gives so many more channels when you search Scientology for that to pop up instead of Scientology propaganda. And I remember I subbed, he said, go sub to her channel. She didn't even have a video up, and I think she had 1,500 or 2,500 subscribers in 24 hours. And that was just, I mean, he did that for me. I would have never been able to go live if he hadn't have put my channel out. So I watched the first Never Ends start channels. The people ran with the SPTV. It was fun. It was great to be a part of a community. And even though they went and did their own things, I mean, they did Friday night, they drank and did Friday night hangouts. We have a cooking channel. And I don't mean the chef. I mean, we had one, what's, I'm so sorry, hun. I will put the name of her channel in the description. I look at it all the time and couldn't remember. So now, at this point, this is still last year, we have so many channels to choose from. We have, we can find who we want to listen to, who we want to watch. Not everybody's going to watch all the same channels. So then what happens? William hits the scene. We don't know him. William Good shows up and he starts trolling or watching, auditing, Scientology. And Aaron talked about him, and that got us interested. What is he up to? And then all of a sudden, these TikTokers, these young people, just showed up and started standing with him and filming. That's all they did. They just stood there and filmed. And then they started. And what did Scientology do? Attack, never defend. Well, all that did is put a spotlight on them, and more people came out, and more people watched the LAPD be corrupt. It's gonna bring them down, because there is too much footage of them bending the knee to Scientology and doing their bidding. And I heard that, because I don't get to watch the LA people all the time, very often. They have big followings, so I try to stick with, the smaller channels and stuff. So I heard that they've actually been going quite a little bit, until yesterday, till this weekend. Easier on that. Like when they show up now, it's not 22 cop cars and 2 helicopters, is what I mean. They're still coming. So, and we watched them just stand there on the street corner and shut the doors of the Hollywood Center. And we're like, what? We can do that? So, people started opening channels. And I never thought I would go live. I thought I would come out with Pearl Snappy. She was already on the scene, and hold a sign. I even told her, I said, I don't want to be on camera. I'll hold your camera. So, I never thought in a million years I'd even go live. Leah Remini, Scientology and Aftermath, 2016 to 2019. Okay, so it hasn't been on the air for 5 years. Winston. Thanks, Love and Life. Winston Smith. Jenna did much protesting long before Aftermath show. Wrote a book in 2013. She is a legend. Has been interviewed in most big TV channels. Yes. And I said that early on. I said there are other people that came before that wrote books and protested. I mean, we're watching Mark Bunker on Ono Nora's channel show his footage from the 90s and early 2000s. And that was really interesting to watch last night. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't list everyone. It's just that Leah Remini was the big celebrity. And when she left Scientology very, publicly, and wrote her book and was very public about what had gone on and about Shelley Miscavige, it kind of put, some steam under the movement, a little bit more steam than was there previous. So that's what I mean by that. And there are a lot of people that came before that did a lot of work. I'm not discounting them at all. So we watched them close their biggest body routing center in the world, Hollywood Boulevard. And they haven't reopened. They left and went somewhere else. They haven't reopened. Why? Because every time they do, they come back. Okay. I'm just looking at my notes, make sure I hit everything I want to. If I hadn't done this, I would have forgot half of this. So we saw them shut them down, just standing there holding a phone. It was that easy. We didn't have to have a coordinated effort like they used to do, like with Anonymous, or there was Mark Bunker's movement. I know his channel was Xenu News, or I'll put as much of this, I should have wrote this stuff down, but this was all the day after stuff. Thanks, Bob. Thanks a lot. Love and light. Yeah, time passes. It was great, but new stuff has to happen. That's exactly it. And that's what I mean when I say in the super chat to Aaron. I mean, I used my milestone chat and I said, I see what you're saying. You know what he was saying, that yeah, they still have a contribution with their channels. They still have a following, and they still have the Aftermath Foundation. And Claire and Mike Render could be sitting in witness boxes for lawsuits. So there still is a place for them to do good and to work with this movement if they so choose. So then I saw new protest channels start, even after I started in February. Then Chicago happened, and I got home that day from here, and I had my TV on YouTube, and I was just going to all the live channels in Chicago. I would spend a few minutes on everyone, and I just could not believe the enormous number of people that showed up. It was amazing. So many new channels that that were like me, that had just enough subscribers to go live, or already had channels on a different vein but chose to use it for this. Thanks, Winston. I wrote it all down, but I watched it in real time, so I remember it all. So then I was like, I was amazed that people were tuning in and watching this, that people were interested in what the protesters were doing. And because, like me, when I first started watching the squirrels and everything, I was like, I can't be there, I can't go there, but I can support them. And that's what I did. As soon as I was able, and they opened, when I heard they were opening here, even though I live 75 miles away, I was like, no, they're not getting their hooks in our young people. I'm going down there. Well, to my pleasant surprise, 80% of these young people know who Scientology is and know that it's at least has bad juju. Don't go in there. SPTVfoundation.org. Give them a call. They'll help you get out, get an apartment, get a car and a job that you don't have to work 80 hours a week. I love the wind. So then me watching them, I never thought a 55-year-old grandma would be out here 3 days a week at least going live stream, and that people would watch me. People are watching me. There's 17 people tuning in right now. That's freaking amazing. It still amazes me. I realized that a bunch of nobodies like me could and will shut them down. Was Leah, Mark, Claire, and Mike, were they cheering us on? Did we ever see them cheer us on? If they did, I didn't see it. Of course, I wasn't paying them much mind. My notes are over, so I gotta do it from memory. So, we've all sat back and watched. We've watched their response. We've watched what they've done, their behavior. We watched have they encouraged SPTV to grow? Have they encouraged the protesters to keep doing what they're doing? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they encourage us? I get that maybe they don't like people that get, loud and in people's faces. But you know what? That's only a handful. The fact is, there's over 100 protest channels now with all different people from all different walks of life just deciding to grab their phone and go spend an hour in front of an org and put some chalk on the ground. So where are they? No, they're letting their mouthpiece Stephanie Hutchison, I hope I got her last name right, just bash the crap out of everybody. Thanks, Colt. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm okay on subscribers, and I'm at around 2,500 watch hours. I need 3,000 for memberships and super chats. It's 4,000 for ad revenue. And I'll be honest, up until recently, I did not care if I got monetized. But my husband being super supportive, I mean, he gets off work at 6 in the morning in Waco and drives an hour home. And when he knows I'm going out, he stops and fills the tank, the gas tank, gets his security stuff out of the car because he doesn't want it to get stolen, and parks the car where I can, because he likes to park in a certain place. You have to go over the curb where he parks. We have a very large driveway. But anyway, point is, he's been super supportive. He's been trying to work on this great sign idea we have, and it was completely his idea. When I wanted to get the expensive gimbal, and I wanted to wait, he's like, no, go ahead and get it, because he makes just a little bit too much. I don't get disability. So he's all of our income, which we've been together since high school, so it's always been what's ours is ours. So that's never been a problem. But I come down here 3 days a week. We have a V8 engine in our vehicle, gas, parking, sometimes a meal, 3 times a week, 4 weeks of the month can add up. And he hasn't said anything about it. The only problem he's having is the tolls, because sometimes the map will take me, there's 2 toll roads that if there's an accident or something on I-35, they'll take me the toll road. Well, I don't go that way anymore, because what's happening is, if you don't have a text tag, which I didn't know what that was, now I'm getting one, you get it in the mail. Well, he's been trying to stay up on it, but if you don't pay that in a certain number of days, a $5 toll becomes $30 or $50, and that's freaking him out. So I'm like, so one day somebody was talking about getting monetized, and I said, you know what, if it would just cover my gas, I'd be happy, or my tolls. I mean, we're talking like, if I can make $50 or $100 a month, that would be amazing. So I'm okay with trying to get a little bit of monetization. I'm not trying to be an Aaron Smith Levin channel. I don't think any of us are, but I think anybody that's out protesting, that's driving out, that's taking time out of their day, I think all of them should get monetized. I think they should get enough back that it could cover any expenses they might have. And so I don't know how I got onto that. Oh, I was just talking about all the protester channels that popped up. So as Never Ends, you know, he's been trying to stay, you know, he gives us the receipts and then he's done. He stays away. Oh my God, I just got a hot flash. Ooh, I need some water. Oh, not today. Can somebody check the temperature for Austin, Texas and tell me what it is? I forgot to check. I really should have worn capris today, not jeans. It would, love and life. It would be great if anyone should, if they can get monetized. Yeah, I agree. And that's what I'm trying to help these other channels with watch hours, you know. I have 2 tablets and a phone connected to the internet, and my TV if I really wanted to do it, but I don't know if my things would work quite right. So I do usually have something on my phone. If I want to be in a chat, I'm on my phone. My tablet doesn't have chat, and I'll play somebody else on the tablet. There's so many people that are like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't come protest. I want to come protest. I want to do something. You don't have to be physically here to support. The keyboard warriors are doing an awesome job making up flyers, putting together that website or a list of all the channels so you can go find them. I'm getting a little busy, guys. I might have to do this sitting on the bench. We'll see if it passes. So, honestly, just giving your view hours to the small channels is a huge support. this, the 18 people, and I know there's people that have jumped in and out like I do. To those people, you know, thank you. If that's all you can do, that's enormous. Because where would we be if we didn't? I don't know if I would come here if I had 0 people. To be honest, I might. I mean, I don't care if I have 4 or 5, but I mean, if nobody watched, why would I come? To be honest. So, I mean, originally I had filmed Pearl Snappy and I put some clips on my channel and that went well. So I might have done that, but I don't know if I would do it 3 days a week. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of people out there doing these channels that all they need is watch hours. Hi. So if you can do that, that's awesome. I'm feeling nice today. I'm going to try to do that every once in a while instead of just yelling at them the foundation number. Because my new sign's going to have that on the sign. But if my husband has anything else to do on his day off, he doesn't get to work on my sign. But we got to get it done. The last day I was here when it was raining, I'll go into that later. I got sidetracked again. So anyway, all I'm saying is, if all you can do is give somebody watch hours, that is supporting. That is supporting in the biggest way possible besides having your own channel. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And that's, you know, I'll be honest, you know, like this morning I could have called off super easy. But I was like, I pre-scheduled it. It was already scheduled. I'm like, there's a handful of people expecting me. I'm going. Once I'm in the car, once I get out of the house, I get packed up and I'm in the car, I'm fine. I'm motivated. It's, you know, getting ready, getting out of the house. Especially for me, mornings are hard with my back. Patrick Skinner, create a playlist that people can set to watch through their insomnia. Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, I've been sitting down with my laptop trying to figure out how to edit smaller videos. But yeah, I haven't even got into playlists yet. I didn't even know how to do that yet. But that's a good idea. Because I can play one video, but yeah, when that ends, it ends. Because I do that. I actually was thinking about, I had tried to do a fireside chat, but I planned it for a Friday night. Well, everybody, the big channels are all on Friday night. And it was early on. I didn't know how to turn off the notifications, the do not disturb. There was all this noise, and I had a fire. It was cool out. I was like, well, turn the sound off and just watch the fire. Well, I might do that again now that I know how to work the sound and just tape the fire and the noise, you know, and give somebody something to watch. Because I don't know if you remember or if you were a part of this, but way back last year when the Never End started channels, they needed watch hours. And one of the guys, he did a couple of sleep-ins. This was before we had so many channels to watch. It was still a fairly small numbers. The protesting hadn't started yet. So he did a sleep-in where he played, you know, nice music. He went to sleep and just left it running. And we all just sat in the chat and talked till the wee hours. And that's how he ended up getting his watch hours, which I thought was pretty smart. Marinda B, what's up? Yeah, no, I try to sound cool. I gotta come out with a different outro because peace out is something I've always said, but it's kind of weird for grandma to say. I'll come up with something better. Oh, I've been talking for a while. So, okay, so that's the history. I want to go back in more about talking about. Let me give him a minute. Thanks. I'm such a nerd. Thing is, nerds are cool now, so, you know. But let's go back to the Mike Rinder, Stephanie, them peoples, and what exactly is going on right now. So, I don't know who this other channel is, but, you know, he told us what was going on. And again, that's all just hateful gossip and stuff. Yeah. So, sorry guys, I have a headache and I don't know why. I took my blood pressure. I haven't had as much water as I normally do, and it is. Hey, was anybody able to check the temperature? Can you check weather in Austin, Texas? I don't want to try because I might get kicked off. It's got to be above 80. Ah! I hate loud noises. Sorry I yelled when that happened. But I've got 3 bottles of water. I bring 2, and then when I get to the pizza place, I get 1 more, just because it's cold. Because the one I have, this one, it stays cold. I have the other one that I have in the car with me. It's usually warm by the time I get here, so that's my 3rd bottle if I have to get to the 3rd bottle. Love and life. Hey, I'm a bit older than you, but close. I love it. Yeah, well, my analytics tell me that my audience is my age. I don't have too many young people that watch me, which is fine. They can go watch the other young people, the TikTokers and stuff. I am not on the ball with these people today. The only reason I was able to stay with that is I wrote notes. Oh gosh, when I have a headache, it is so hard to concentrate. And I don't know why I have a headache. I don't get headaches a lot, to be honest. With all my neck injuries, my shoulder injuries, my back, my disease, you would think headaches might be a problem, but actually they're not. The biggest headaches I get are tension headaches, and ibuprofen doesn't help those, but I don't get those very often. So I don't know why I have a headache today. I'm trying to remember if I took my blood pressure. I usually take all my meds in the morning. They're all together. I'm trying to picture if I took them. Because they're very, what should I say? Not very strong. So if I did take them around 6 or 7, about 7, it's, what time? 3:30. I think I could take them again. I'm going to take my blood pressure again. Just in case I forgot. Austin is 84 degrees. Yep, and it's probably a little bit warmer right here near the road because it's all cement here. Oh, that's not it. Oh, crap. Whoops. Okay, there's nothing left in that bottle. Check my other stash. Got some in there. I was effed up this morning. Twyla. My stepmom's name was Twyla. What happened? I just didn't want to get up. I have a weird sleep schedule anyway because my husband works nights, and on his days off, if I want to spend time with him, I have to be up till 3 in the morning. Sometimes later than that. It's kind of why I came today. So I can be off his 2 days. I have a horrible time remembering what meds I've taken. I know. Luckily, most of mine are on the same schedule. When I used to have 3 times a day and 2 times a day, holy crap. Jay was threatened with a machete by Chris's attacker today or yesterday when they tried to arrest him. And, okay, I heard that I saw on Aaron's channel that his attacker was being arrested, but then I heard later that he was let go. I saw that. that he was arrested at the protest. Now, was he protesting or just kind of filming it? Yeah, that's not funny. Tell me more. I saw that somebody was on their way to somewhere he was being arrested, and they were flying down the street. Because I was on when I get in the car, when I'm leaving my house, I go on YouTube and try to find something to listen to on my way here. I can't watch live protesters because there's not enough to engage me, so I have to watch, like, I usually watch Natalie's morning show, but she didn't have one this morning, or some other show like that where they're, talking the whole time. That's what I usually watch. So Jay threatened with death this morning by him. Yes, he was let go. Now, was he let go on the scene and not taken in, or let go without bail? Because what it sounded like to me is he was let go on the scene, which I don't understand why. These LAPD rules make no freaking sense. This private person's arrest, and they can pick and choose what reports they want to take. I mean, I worked for a police station for 6 years, and I've dealt with my local police when needed, and I've never heard of that. It just makes no freaking sense to me. More fun. Yes, he asked for a sergeant. The sergeant let him go. Oh my God. Did Chris at least get his name and information so he can go put it in his original report? See, Aaron didn't watch the rest of that, neither did the rest of us, and so I just heard about it later. I just, ooh, I'm just, so mad right now. Somebody around here smoking a cigar. I can't deal with that. Actually, cigars don't bother me. Streets arrested while filming the arrest of the student protesters. His charge is interference with investigation. Yeah. We watched the entire time. His name is Wendell Manning. All right, Wendell. I hope Chris is able to go in and file a complaint against that jerkface. Cops wouldn't come for death threat on Jay. Cops said the callers were swatting. Oh, they can, So they can decide when somebody's swatting when they call, but if they're told on a police scanner that, by the way, it's the blonde woman that's always in here, possible swatting, 22 cop cars and 2 helicopters show up. And here's the thing. My whole life, and my husband says the same thing, we were always pro-cop, thin blue line, because my husband, since he got out of the Army, has been in security. And for the first, till 2020, from 2010, for the first 10 years or so, he had to rely on the police to back him up. He was either part-time at the local clubs where they had guns and knives and stuff, or he was at the worst neighborhood in North Austin for 8 years. And if he was dealing with somebody that he couldn't control, and he had to wear a bulletproof vest, and he was armed. And he had to deal with drug dealers and prostitutes. So the cops were his backup. But when they defunded the police 3 or 4 years ago, and they wouldn't come anymore unless somebody was dying, he knew it was time to go. And luckily, a wonderful, perfect contract came up in Waco, and he went to a shopping complex and started working with women and family and their friends at a very famous place, that's all I'm going to say. But then he went to nights, which he loves, because he doesn't like dealing with people. He's getting old and crotchety. But the shit that he's seeing now with the protesters, and the shit that he's had to deal with in Austin after things got, he knew the cops. He knew who was going to work with him and help him, and when they wouldn't. Well, even up in Waco, he had no problems with them. But now he's starting to get attitude about certain things. Because you know how Scientology hires off-duty police at a high rate? So that's why they come running. Same thing was happening in Waco. The people he worked for were a big thing in Waco. And when he would call, they're there in 10 minutes. And mostly what he deals with is homeless and people vandalizing and things like that. Hi, Diana. Well, it's not stalking if you're watching my channel. Okay. So called Jay had a night security camera on him through part of the night. I didn't watch much. Yeah, see, when he was getting ready to go to bed around midnight his time, 2 a.m. my time, I popped in and they were talking about this homeless guy. And I already, when I found out where he was sleeping, DOA at least is in an enclosed van. When I saw what he was sleeping in downtown LA near the Blue Building, knowing that people get attacked, he's in like a little tent on top of his truck. I said something last night. I said, you know, I worry about him because he wasn't watching the camera. I worry about him that close to Scientologists. And then I thought it was a pile of garbage, and then somebody mentioned that there was a dude sitting there and I saw a movement. And I'm like, man, I hope he doesn't sleep there anymore. He needs to go. I know he may want the spot. I don't know. He needs to go somewhere nobody knows where he is. But I get that he's staying there. Him and DOA are staying next to each other. Go find a different neighborhood where they don't know you. Please. Oh, go back and watch the beginning. I had 3 pages of notes I went over about what happened this weekend. And that's kind of where we're still talking about it. A little bit. But now, anyway, I was talking about my husband, you know. We grew up, my husband's family's from the mountains in Virginia, and their people were either preachers or lawmen. And I had a cop in my uncle was a cop in Ohio. So, and that's just the way we were raised. You know, I was born in 1969. I was a kid in the 70s. So I was a teenager in the 80s. I don't know. We just respected police officers. You just did. And I never had a bad experience with them. Which is probably why. Until I've seen this bullshit. Yeah, I think it's shady too. Well, then again, okay, you do have to err on the side of, you know, street people will be crazy. And my husband has dealt with it. My husband dealt with a guy on meth. He unloaded a whole canister of pepper spray and it didn't faze this guy. He didn't want to pull his gun because I think it was not long after the riots or during or after George Floyd or whatever, and he didn't want to be the white guy that shot an unarmed man, so he didn't pull his weapon. And instead, so he took a beating instead, because my husband is 5'8", 5'9", 5'8", we'll say 5'8 and a half, and 150 pounds. So, and he wasn't carrying a baton because you have to have a special class to carry it. And the company he was with at the time after that, he bought a police issue stun gun and he started carrying his baton again. But he didn't move long after that. And that guy got adjudicated probation, and that was, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I can't remember. Well, he looked him up a few months ago. He did a background check, and the guy's in like South Dakota, and he found his mugshot doing drugs. I think it was robbery or theft or something. So it didn't do him any good. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing I was upset about last night. When they said that guy was sitting there, and I saw the day before what Jay was sleeping in and where they were. I mean, isn't that the block that Chris got attacked on? They all got attacked, that Patrick Perry roams around in. I get Jay's young. When I was young, I thought I was indestructible. But you're indestructible till you're not. And I think he should have moved. I really do. I think he should have went somewhere. I mean, maybe he could, park in front of somebody's house that lives down there or something. He would be so much safer, even if he doesn't want to, take one of their rooms. So, I hope he's learned. I hope if he's still there, he doesn't sleep on that street again. Him and DOA need to ask if somebody else, if they can, park in front of their building or something.
Did you hear it?
or a paid parking garage. I don't know if they'll let him like stay in a tent. And you know the LAPD isn't going to be watching out for him. Fuzzy Pink. L. Ron Liar sent me all the way from St. Louis, Missouri. That's funny. I'm live if you want that to be private. She's on her phone. I'm trying to let her know that she can be heard. People probably don't want their private conversations. So, I know I've been yelling at people going in and out that much. I'll be honest. I got so many things on my mind that when I switch gears to say something, I forget how to switch back. And I'm on L. Ron Liar room raid. Oh, I didn't get that at first, Fuzzy. MLH, great to see you. You missed the good parts. I was going over what happened this weekend and my thoughts. But now we're talking about Chris's attacker getting released and corrupt cops. Thanks, Fuzzy. Xenofree. Thank you. Thank you, Elron Liar. I appreciate it. Awesome. Your handler is in the pink shirt on the bench. Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, I see him. You guys must see him in the window. I haven't turned. Oh, they literally stood across the street taking pictures of me one day, and I waved. I don't care. Yeah, I kind of wonder. Do you guys want to look at something else besides the doors? I mean, I'm okay. Sometimes I turn around and I look at the campus and stuff. And your uncle, is he at least comfortable? Hey, Gail. Yeah. We were going on about my anger and Jay and Chris and all that crap. Well, that's awesome, you guys. I appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I started out talking about, you know, the movement, SPTV, and how nobodies like me were able to start a channel because Aaron encouraged us to. And, you know, we saw what was going on in LA and we're like, you know what, maybe I can do that too. You know, I actually started my channel. I literally was watching William and the Squirrel Squad. And I knew that they were talking about opening in Austin. So I sat there while I was watching him on YouTube on the tablet and created my channel. That's why my name is so silly. Or my old name. Because it was Scientology Won't Win. Then I realized I made it on my personal channel. And I didn't want that. I like those to be separate. So I recreated it. Well, let me have that name. Even though I changed it, got rid of it. I had to add in Texas. Well, I had always intended on going back to Scientology Won't Win. But I realized everybody knows me by Miss Kim. And if you haven't noticed, I've changed it. I pulled the pin and I'm just Miss Kim SP. Simple, you can find me, it's easy, and In the Know knows what SP means. Yeah, I've been watching you, MD Media. Yesterday was a shit show in LA. Oh, thanks, media. I just went down I go down through the channel list and just subscribe to everybody. Unless you're fairly new, then sometimes I have to be told. I think Natalie got me to subscribe to you. Hey, Hitzel. I did the same with my parents. Brought them home and tried to keep them comfortable. Oh, are you talking? I'm sorry. Are you talking? Oh, you're talking to someone else. I'm sorry. Well, I hope your uncle's okay. I mentioned my uncle was a cop, so that's what confused me a little bit. He passed away years ago. To hospice, he's at home. Yeah. MOH. I'll keep him in my prayers. Yeah, I heard about him getting arrested. I will. I saw it, Aaron brought up, I couldn't believe I heard later on that Chris's attacker was let go. Oh my God. But it sounds like he at least got his name. That's okay. I get it. Yeah, that would be against the law. You know, I have a background check app. If that his name and date of birth dropped into my comments after I close up, but it sounds like MLH probably has that too. That guy is camped out there today. Oh, really? Chris's attacker? Great. Oh, wait a minute. If he attacked Jay with the machete, are you saying that they never... Oh, you're right. He never came out. So he's attacking again. And again... Diana, I know, that's hard life. Hard living will do that to you. 63, I was born in 69. So we're close. But I still think he looks a whole lot older than my husband does. Threatening. And then you find out you can't even bring pepper spray to a protest because it could be against the law. So you can't do anything to protect yourself. So I asked my husband, I said, well, what about the stun gun? He's like, nope. Okay, yeah, I'm 55, so... Yeah, I think you told me that before. Yes, he is, and has a lady friend with him now, hanging out on Osa's lawn. Let him hang out on Osa's lawn, but I wouldn't be giving him any food or anything like they've been doing. I'd tell him, I would berate his butt till he left. That's just ridiculous. Oh, making my stomach hurt. It's making me so mad. My chest hurts. Oh, I hate injustice. That's the thing about me in my life. The one thing that makes me mad is when I see somebody taken advantage of, or I see injustices that are ignored or used. And I guess that's why I'm here. But I mean, just in my personal life, she lived there a lot with children. Is that the law in every state? Actually, I don't know about this stun gun. My husband just said no, I couldn't bring it. It might be because it's not a taser like you would buy. It's actually it's one of the police issue type that shoots it out. It looks, so that might be why. You may have to have certain stuff like that. I think you have to have a special class for it. I know my husband had to have a class for pepper spray, a class for the baton, a class for handcuffs, a class, of course, for his weapon, and I think he was supposed to have a class for the stun. This was right after he got attacked in Austin, and I think he carried it anyway. He hadn't had the class yet. Some older people are on Facebook. I guess Scientology would rather have a mad homeless guy camp here. I was going to cover the camera for her. Camp out instead of a protester. They have been feeding the homeless. Yeah. Somebody mentioned doing that here, and hi Ruth. Hey, I'm older than you, Miss Kim. You're just a youngin'. Xenu free. Some of the solo protesters scare me seeing them out there alone. Yeah, I don't worry as far as general thugs because there's so many people around, but you can't predict people that are on something or that kind of thing, because I'm pretty sure, because there was I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was the same guy that threw this sign at Pearl Snappy. I think it might have been the same guy that threw the sign on another day. So I don't know when I was here, but I was way off to the side that day because I'll show you. Oh, I wish I would have turned this when he was still there. So I've been setting up between the bench and the tree with my wagon there, my tripod there, so the only place they can come up on me is here, but since I'm turned towards the door, I can see that. So I've been kind of like making myself a fort. So, but I wanted to be closer today. Now, just walking around here, I don't worry because literally, no matter where I go, even back where I park and stuff, there's always 4 or 5 people right around me because there's apartments back here, there's parking back here, there's students. That's why I don't come on Sundays anymore. That's the only day I worried. But yeah, I do too. Has it been busy? Yeah, actually, there's been more people go in and out than normal, but I was so engrossed in talking about the, I don't want to say shitstorm, it's not that big. The bombshells that were dropped this weekend. I almost went live yesterday from my house. But luckily I waited and I watched Aaron's second live. And he's always that way. He's like, I don't want to talk about that today that much. He did read comments. You know, he says his business. He gives the receipts. He tells us what's going on. And he moves on. He could milk that for weeks if all he wanted was clicks. Hey, Gail. Guy in the pink. No. Oh, I don't care. I don't care at all. There is nothing. I've had security clearances in my life. So I literally have done nothing wrong. I've never been arrested. I haven't had a speeding ticket since 1990. My grandkids and my daughter moved away, so I don't even have them at the house anymore. No, I'm just an old lady. And I don't think they're that much interested in me, which is fine. It works in my favor. Cult. In LA, protesters can only carry signage. If you have a little pocket knife, LAPD can arrest you. Do not carry anything. Oh, I know. My very, very first day before they had actually opened, I was carrying in my backpack, which didn't make sense because in order to get to it would have been ridiculous. But then when I thought about it, and I thought, that was the day. Maybe it wasn't the first day, but it was the day that they CT'd Pearl Snappy and the cops showed up. And I thought about it that day. I'm like, the cops showed up. I didn't know why at first. I'm like, if they try to say I have a weapon and I have one, I'm screwed. So I don't carry. I have a weapon with me that helps me walk that I will work very well. But yeah, I know, because the fact that they're getting attacked, and I do worry about, it's the ones that really look like they're on something that worry me. And summertime, the transients come from other, come out a lot more. And they really like, towards 4 or 5 o'clock, I noticed, they come and they start sitting here with their backpacks. They tend to stay away towards the day. I don't know why. I don't begin to know why, but later in the day they start sitting down, so maybe they've been walking or doing something for the day. And then we've had quite a few people on something come by, but they've stayed pretty jovial with me for the most part. I'm old but still twerking. No, not me. I can't even do the chalk tech. If I get down there, I'm never getting back up. But I'm just getting active again too. I need to get some sun on my face. It used to be in the summer, I would get a little bit of sun on my face and I wouldn't have to wear makeup because I have freckles. My freckles will pop out. My arms have gotten some sun. And I don't have to wear foundation in the summer. But it's shady here all the time because it's such a tall building. But yeah, so I was talking when y'all came in that me and my husband I was in ROTC in high school. I enlisted in the Army on my 17th birthday in the reserves. My husband did too, and then 2 years later he went active duty for life. I worked at a police station for 6 years until I got sick. So, everything I've been around and the way I was taught was be respectful of the police. We supported the police until they started acting like they don't need it. When we start seeing all this corruption, way before the protesting, way before, when they got those cops on camera beating that boy and just all this shady shit because of social media and YouTube, we're seeing a lot more of it. We'll talk off, if you're talking to me, Hitzel, we'll talk offline. Oh, class of 85. 87 here. Ruth. LOL, you and me both, Kim. I can still get down, just can't get up. Yeah, exactly. I can stand still. This really doesn't bother me. But man, when I did that walk around campus, my legs were sore. So I do want to do that though. You know, I kind of forgot about that today. I wanted to go on campus towards the end, maybe, but I would have to go put my stuff away and then go. So maybe I'll do like, I hadn't planned on doing it today. Let me do that on a different day, just to see if they've got their Dianetics tables out. Because I didn't see the people in red t-shirts till I was leaving one day, and I was leaving late. I was leaving real close to 5, and I saw them going in and out the door. And I asked Pro Snappy about it. I said, are they bringing out the tables after I leave? And she said, no, they're setting up on campus. And let's look this way a little bit. I had meant to move over to the corner so we can see them coming up the side there, because that's the parking's back there. And I think I've figured out, somebody told me they were sneaking people in the side door. That's why I'm only seeing people go in and out the front door with canes, walkers, or scooters for the most part. I do see regular go in, but I think that's why I'm only seeing the older people. Unless that's all that's coming, I don't know. Oh, that breeze feels so good. But my husband's got an attitude now. Now, even where he works in Waco, at first, you know, it was really good police response, but, you know, oh, and this is why he brought up the cameras. When the LAPD never wants to look at camera footage. He said because where he works takes up a whole block. And they have, if he's not watching the cameras, then he has to get in the car and patrol all the downtown properties that these people own. And then come back, and then towards early morning, he's letting deliveries come in. But if something happens, like there's an accident, or they have to come for some other issue that my husband didn't call them for, he just goes out there and just stands off to the side, because he knows they're going to come up and say, hey, did you record this? He's like, yeah. You want to come see it? He's like, yeah. Every time. So when he said that they didn't even want to look at the footage, he's like, that's suspicious as shit. And I'm glad we got it on film. It's there forever. And with these meetings that Mona's having and the others are having with, I cannot remember I thought he said Inspector General of LA, and they want to have her, they did a PowerPoint about bias and about how the church is safe pointing them and using them and that, and hopefully the IG isn't in their pocket. We know that the division, LA division, Hollywood division is. We know their chief probably is, and all that. So maybe this will get somewhere, and when we can show them video after video after video after video of them being suspicious and corrupt and shady and outright just, I mean, arresting somebody who you can prove was attacked, like Danny, like Aaron, like when all 3 of them got attacked that first time when they all got arrested, and footage would exonerate them. And they knew all along, we all knew all along, that, yeah, the charges are going to get dropped. When a DA or a judge or anybody with any common sense looks at all the footage, they're going to be like, well, this is bogus. But they knew, they added hate crime to Danny just so he wouldn't get bailed. Knowing, and you know, if I was the DA, I'd be looking side-eyed at the officers that did the arrest, or the supervisor, and be like, why do you keep arresting these people on charges you know is bullshit? Yeah. Making everybody look stupid. I appreciate you being out there in your creek out. That's 2 hours. Oh, Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, I mean, it was easy to the point because, like I said, I watched a lot of it. There's not a lot I do know. There's not, like, at first, when I first started watching Aaron's videos, what it was is I found him kind of probably late 2022, and I knew he had like 5 years of videos or more. And I'm like, I can't go back and watch all his videos. So I went back 1 year, and I binge watched 1 year of his videos. And I was caught up by the end of 2022, the beginning of 2023, when he decided to start going live. And that was my introduction. And if it wasn't talked about right there early on. So I just assumed that Mike Render had done his, what's the word I want? Paid his dues, had done the apology tour. Like, I heard Aaron and others say that, yeah, they've met people in Scientology they were assholes to and they apologized. And we're finding out that, no, Mike never really did that. Everybody just welcomed him with open arms. And that was it. Oh, somebody early on said that Mike was dirty. Mike is worried about being prosecuted. Yeah, I do think that's part of it. But like I've said many times in the chat, if he were to go to the FBI or the grand jury or whoever, and they really wanted to bring down David Miscavige or the church or make some arrests, they would give him immunity for what he knows. And he knows it, but he doesn't want to do it. He's too busy riding the coattails of the Aftermath show and the podcast with Lily and, and that's the other thing, because in Scientology, everything you do is a crime. Everything you do or that happens to you, it's your fault. You pulled it in. So even if it wasn't that bad, they still they make you have this guilty complex over sneezing funny. So, that's a good question, Jessica, because I talked about that a little early on. How do you avoid protesting burnout? I do have days it's hard to get up because I start around 9:30 in the morning or so because I move slow. I have to get ready, get my stuff together, and then it's an 1.5-hour drive if traffic is decent. Then I park, then I go to that pizza shop, do my pit stop, get a bottle of water, come out here, and then drive home. And I never eat before I come on because I don't want to have to end my stream to go to the restroom. So I did that this weekend. I can't remember if I came Thursday or Friday, but we were supposed to do a group thing on Saturday, but people couldn't make it. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to come out this weekend. But that's why I'm here instead of Tuesday, because 2 days for me, to be honest. Okay, so yeah, I do get, it's not so much the protesting part, it's the being away from home part. And what happens is, it's hard for me to keep up with my house already with all of my medical issues. But when I'm gone all day, by the time I get home, I am not doing jack shit, whatever. So things get behind, and they're already behind. So I'm about to hire somebody to help me. So I did some housework like Saturday and kind of chilled yesterday. But I'll be honest, if I go the 2 days in between or more, I kind of miss it. I kind of, because I don't really have anybody to talk to. My husband's asleep all day. My daughter moved away. We used to talk. We talk a little bit. She's at work all day. So now that I'm used to talking all the time, I only have my dogs to talk to when I'm at home. So that's why I only do 3 days a week. If I lived closer, I would be here every day. If it was less than a 30-minute drive, I would be here every day. even if it was for 10 minutes, just to screw with them. I would just show up, like what Pearl Snappy did one day on her bike. She showed up like twice just to make them close down and left. That'd be me. I'd just be coming down here, and so. But yeah, I'm actually not that surprised about Leah, because early on she was keeping her mouth shut, and early on we kind of knew when I would watch her and Mike together. Oh, pink guy's back. So I kind of knew, even though publicly she was staying out of it, that privately she probably wasn't. But as long as she stayed out of it and stayed neutral, I was happy. That's all I could have hoped for. So see, he sat right there, so I can't see him. But what she's doing now is just really hit soul. She asked me today, so how's the protesting going? She saw my sign. I said, it's all right. We talked about it a little bit, about how they had to bring all these Sea Org down here to staff it. So, oh, the door's open. SPTV Foundation.org, they'll help you get out. They'll help you get a job and an apartment and a GED since you didn't get your education. Your parents probably pulled you out of school to go to work. So, but no, I actually do like doing it. Partly I feel like I'm doing something, because to be honest, since 2010 I've done nothing. I used to be Girl Scout leader in the Boy Scouts. When I got sick in 2010, I was teaching adult Sunday school. We were going to church all the time. Always doing something. And I learned that being an Army wife. My husband and I were apart 10 and a half of 21 years. And most of that was a 1 year or more. And the easiest years that I had were the busier I was. Like 1 year he came home from Korea. And that year, people think that in the military you only get separated due to war or conflict. You don't. There's things called hardship tours where they need people in Korea, Panama, Germany, or other type bases. And if you only go for 1 year, you can't take your family. It's called a hardship tour. If you want to bring your family, you have to go for 2 or more years. And we had literally... No. So, that year he gets 2 weeks leave, but they said because it was taking military flights can sometimes take too long because you get booted if somebody more important comes on. They said you have to have a round trip ticket to go on leave. That was $1,800 in 2001. And no, we couldn't afford it. So I didn't see him for a year. And right about the end, he was there till 2002, because he was there on 9/11. Like a month before he came home, he got a, what do you call it, computer camera? What do we call them back then? I don't remember. And it was one of those cameras that would take a still of you every so many seconds. And I made him stop using it because it would just give me these pictures of these awful facial expressions. So I almost forgot what he looked like. I was getting at something. Oh, that year, Monday night was, can't remember. Tuesday night was Girl Scouts and Taekwondo. I was the leader. Wednesday night was youth at church. Thursday night was Taekwondo. Friday night, back then I only took a pain med once a week. I would take it Friday night, and Saturday morning my daughter had bowling. And Sunday was church. or we had a Girl Scout thing going on that weekend. So Monday night, I think, was the only night of the week I really didn't have anything to do. So, oh, and I was teaching Sunday school and doing a newsletter at church. My husband comes home and he looks at all the stuff we're doing. He goes, something's got to go. And I said, I've been doing this by myself. You're here now. You're taking Boy Scouts and Taekwondo. And that's how I was able to handle. And I wasn't that upset about him not coming home, and I'll tell you why. The first time he was gone for a year was in '95 when he went to Panama for a hardship tour. Now, he wanted us to go with him, but he had been to Panama before for Just Cause in '89. And he told me about a grasshopper that they had to break the legs of to get into a box that was about 18 inches by 18 inches. And our daughter was 95, she was 2. And I said, I am not going anywhere where the bugs, the grasshoppers, are as big as my daughter. So anyway, about being busy. So when I got sick in 2010, I went from working full-time, teaching, doing stuff, to nothing. It took them a while to diagnose me. So I tried to start a craft business. I have a craft room. My husband built it for me. It's wonderful, and I was doing really good there for a few years. But then about 5 years ago, I injured 4 more discs in my lower back, and I was bedridden. So that kind of never got off the ground, and it's just sitting there. So this time, so I need this, is what I'm getting at. I need this. I'm getting out of the house for the first time in 14 years. I have been in my 4 walls for 14 years. So I need this. Oh, cool. How often, how many times can Army force a 1-year post on married enlisted as much as they want? We have no say. He could have extended to 2 years in Korea, but he would have had to get special permission. And I regret now, I wish I would have went, because I didn't know we were going to be stationed at Fort Hood, Cavazos now, for 17 years. I didn't know I was only going to see 2 states in 21 years, because he did hardship tours. So we never got sent to Germany. We never got reposted anywhere else. But then the war hit, and he never moved. And Fort Hood's like that. We met people when we got here in the 90s that'd been here 12 or 13 years. It's like the, what did he call it? The black hole of the Army. Out in the world doing good. Thanks, Gail. So yeah, I mean, this really isn't that much. It's not a hardship on me or even my husband, because he's asleep. He doesn't even know I'm gone. He's usually, by the time I'm getting in the car around 4:30, he tries to call me. He wakes up. The only thing is, the dogs will wake him up and he has to take him out. But he's slept through mortar attacks. He can go back to sleep. So I literally can sit, and I used to sit on the bed right next to him, no earbud in, tablet on, listening to Aaron Smith Levin or whatever, and he doesn't even notice. He said one time, the only reason he woke up when he was in Iraq is the mortar hit and blew open his room door. I mean, that man can sleep through anything. So it's not a hardship. It's not hardship at all. It gives me a purpose. It gets me out of the house. I'd be sitting on my butt probably. It's getting me active again. My back is still injured. They put the pain implant in. It blocked the pain. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. I do never bring this stuff up for sympathy. I only bring it up for anybody that might be in a similar situation. So in November, they tried the implant and it worked, but it took till about January to heal. Then I found out about this place in February. And I'm like, well, I'm going to try. I go, even if I end up having to take my walker and it's got a seat and having to sit, I will sit there and hold a sign if that's all I can do. I never envisioned this being a permanent every week thing at first. I thought all I was going to do is show up, hold a sign. I wanted to come every day that week before they closed because I wanted them to know they weren't welcome. And then after that, I had no plan. And so it just has evolved. I went live right before the opening because Aaron got me 50 something subscribers. Then Pearl Snappy got me another 50. I'm like, good, because I didn't know if you dropped below 50 if you couldn't go live anymore. I didn't know how any of this stuff worked. So I was scared because I had 59, then I went to 56. I lost 3 because I hadn't posted really anything, just a couple clips of Pearl Snappy. Well, I was standing, you guys might see it. When I start clipping videos, I will put that one on. I was standing over there by that church sign because they had the thing blocked. It was the day before the opening and they were setting up. And these college boys stopped and talked to me for a really, really long time. And I mentioned, I've got my subscribers, but I don't even know how to go live. And he literally just went on my phone, because I was just filming, and showed me how to go live that day. I was like, okay, now I need to learn how to edit. And I've been watching videos so I can edit some shorter videos for people to watch. Don't want to sit and watch a live stream. Like, people really want to see, there's a couple people I've talked to and had really great conversations with. So I really want to try to go in and find those. I'm still trying to figure out how to do it. I finally downloaded some software. And so I can do it on my phone. I did edit the cop video on my phone, but it's difficult to get an exact time because as soon as I lift up from the timestamp I want, it'll jump some 10 seconds. And the problem is there may be something else going on that in the other 10 seconds. So that's why I haven't edited that much. Bye, Diana. But yeah, so, because you were asking about how many times you can be set. And see, that's why when the war happened and it was on TV and everybody's like, oh, these families. And then they started filming these homecomings. We never did that kind of stuff. We never, because for a while, when you get deployed, your whole unit goes. The problem is in the military, only your dad might be coming home. Because, like, when my husband would come back from, say, his year in Korea, or his year in Panama, or his 8 months in Bosnia, now that was a deployment, that was with his unit, 5 months in Kuwait. The problem is you don't want to go to the school and if you look at those, a lot of those are National Guard and reservists because they're in like a civilian town. But in a military town, we didn't do those things because if my husband went and did this big surprise and there's 12 other kids in the class whose dads are still gone, you just can't, you don't do it. So we'd never done any big homecoming like that. We'd always just, did something at home. It wasn't till the war that we, usually we never made it a big deal on purpose. So anyway, so I don't know what I was getting at. I don't remember. Gail, editing is a whole other job, very time consuming. I have a friend that does some editing on her art videos. I wouldn't want to do it, rather do art instead. Yeah, I'm not gonna edit like say Jessica Palmadessa does. I'm not gonna add things to the videos. All I want to do, and I tried to put it in the search, how to clip from your YouTube live stream, and they sent me to YouTube's editor. But YouTube editor, all it does is trim the beginning and end off. And I want to cut a section out, and that's it. I just want to cut like this timestamp to this timestamp. When I was talking to somebody, pull that out and put it on the channel. That's it. I'm not going to get into any of that extra type stuff. And even that was hard to figure out even what to use to do it. And you have to go through so many YouTube how-to. I hate how-to videos. I would so much rather have a book. I'm a book person because you can go back 3 pages if you need to, easier than you can rewind. So I may go to Barnes and Noble and look at some books on editing and see if they've got something that'll help. But I finally figured out I just needed to get a free editing software, and you can't do it in YouTube. I'm gonna have to I download a video to the computer, upload it to the software, make my clip, then import it to YouTube. So once I figure that out, I'm good. And then I got to go back through my videos and find, good sections that I want to clip out. That's all I'm going to do. Yeah, I clipped on my phone the first time, and I was trying to do it again with a conversation I had, but something that like 10 seconds prior I didn't want in. And I have a stylus that I bought, and so I'm down there in the video, this little strip at the bottom of my phone, and I'm going to like 43 minutes and 22 seconds. I lift up the stylus and it jumps to 40 to the 30-second mark and takes out 10 seconds of what I wanted. That got very frustrating very quick. But yeah, I would never be able to do what like Jessica does, put music in, put words in, and I'll learn eventually. But I'll be honest, I'm old, it's new, it's not something I'm used to. I mean, I can learn it. I just, when I get home, that is one thing about, you were asking about getting burnout, which I don't. But when I get home, there are times where I don't want to deal with it. I get home, I put my bags down, I'm done. I don't want to do anything else. There are days where I don't watch any Scientology. I have to take a break. But I do try to watch. I love Natalie's recap show. Where'd that been all my life? I only found it a few weeks ago. So I love watching that on the way here. It gets me caught up on things that are going on. Oh, did he? I know. Well, let's do this. Watch this. Yeah, let's do that. And there we go. You moved again. I moved back like a foot. I wonder if that guy's with him, helping him hide his face, because he got there first with his bike. I need to start setting up over there on the corner so that I can see him coming up that way, and I would be closer as they come around the corner, because if you come from that way, it's like 2 blocks. You can walk up that way, but you can't drive. To drive to Guadalupe, you gotta go way, way farther. So I usually walk up to the pizza place up there. Oh, I'm way close. I'm sorry. I'm way close to the mic. Sorry. And I usually go in there and get my water. I use their bathroom because their bathroom is fairly decent. The coffee shop bathroom right here looks like it hasn't been wiped down in a year. Which gets me, because you could literally hose the thing down. The walls are waterproof. There's a drain in the middle. The floor is waterproof. You could literally just go in there with a hose and just hose down the whole bathroom. Just spray some bleach on everything and hose it down. When we remodel our bathroom, we've had so many, like, the sewer system on our street is old. Matter of fact, back when VHS tapes were still a thing, we had Roto-Rooter come out, and he took a camera down to find out why we had a backup. And under the street, the pipe fell, and there's a lip. Well, the city would have to fix that. Well, luckily, it took another 12 years before it backed up again. But oh my God, did it? So after that encounter, we have long since ripped the carpet up in the bathrooms. We got our house in the 90s when carpet in the bathrooms were a thing. It's stupid. I watch a lot of Japanese channels, or I was before SPTV took over. But I love Japan. I love watching this guy that does Japan. It's so clean. They're so smart. All their bathrooms are like wet rooms. You can literally hose it down, squeegee it to the drain. Well, we're installing a drain in our bathroom, our master bathroom, in the middle. So if anything like that ever happens again, yeah, I don't even want to go there. Oh yeah. Did you see me back up and he hit again? So anyway, I think I got him before that. Yeah, there's so many videos, it's overwhelming. It can be. So, I mean, I get that there's some people that pick some favorites and stuff, and that's fine. Hey, Lorraine. Sea Org and LA had their group photo taken on L1 Hubbard Way, only about 70 to 80. Wow, that's so sad. Of course, we know why. Yeah, yuck. Yeah. Yeah, public bathrooms, yeah. I know. Well, okay, there's something I got a trick for you. Okay. I think the tissue toilet seat covers are worthless. So, I knew I was going to have to be, I hate public bathrooms. I really, really, really hate them. And so I went in and I found these toilet seat covers that are huge, vinyl, almost vinyl, waterproof. And what they are, training. Oh, did I disappear for a second? Anyway, they're for potty training, and they drape over the toilet enough, because you know how kids have to use their hands on the toilet seat, and they don't pay attention to where their clothes are touching the front. So if you go on Amazon and you put in training toilet seat covers, I got like 20 for $9.99, and they're awesome, because nothing's gonna come through it, and it covers all the way around. You can't flush it, but there's usually trash around. So I'll if you guys want a link, so I can't see. Let me turn around. I love to give out things I've learned. It's huge. That's why it's this big. And you just take it out and it covers the whole toilet. It's waterproof. And then you just pick it up by a section you haven't touched yet on the top and just put it in the trash. So I love these. So I didn't have any. I ran out. And I never stop on the way here. I always try to wait till I'm here, but I had to. I stopped at a Wendy's that I've actually got food at before. I can't even tell you. That may have been the worst. I can't even tell you. And that's when I swore I would never run out of these again. And I don't. I already ordered a new pack and I'm not even out yet. And I carry them in. So I carry them. I got this off of Temu, by the way, to hold my bottle. The bottles I got another time, and I had to find one like this. I actually got this because we started going to the gym. I didn't even buy it for here. And so I keep my covers in there, my sanitizer, and so if don't have my I have some in my backpack too. I can just carry this in with me. So. And then the backpack I use, I literally ran into Walmart and found the cheapest backpack I could find right before I started coming down here, because my husband's like, yeah, we got backpacks. He pulls out 4 army backpacks that empty weigh about 15 pounds. I'm like, dude, I'm broken. I can't do that. So I found one of this, it's not real small, but I found one that's not huge. And I like the color, thank goodness. And that's the one I've had since I started. And also, if anybody else is thinking, so let me show you this too. Yeah, I bought the expensive gimbal, but what I found out was I don't like it. it's really geared more towards filming, not live streaming. It has an app with all these filters. It's for somebody to sit and videotape or to do a movie. When you're live streaming, you have very little use. Like I wanted the focus turny thingy, whatever, wheel, because it's so hard to focus on a phone. It's not available when you're live streaming. So many things weren't available. So a lot of times I've gone back to this. This thing costs $26. Oh, and I did make sure that everything I got is extendable.
Hey, I have a question for
Sure.
you. Is it true about these assholes that you have to give about in order to become one of their members?
Mm-hmm.
That you have to get out loans that were 55,000 or 60,000?
Yeah, if you're public,
Mm-hmm.
yes. To go up the bridge of total freedom, it can cost you upwards of $150,000.
Freedom
And
for
then,
what?
but the people in uniform
Uh-huh.
is slave labor. They make staff makes $200 a week and works 80 to 100 hours a week, and they have to have a second job to pay rent. Or if they're Sea Org,
Yeah, I heard about
they
that.
make $50 a week, and they're in it for life, and they can't leave. Staff, they
What
only
happens if you leave, though?
yeah, well they
They'll-
won't. Yeah, you're not allowed to have the internet, TV, nothing, and that's what we're
Yeah,
here for.
I
Because
saw
I'm
the-
all about religious freedom, but when
Yeah.
you start hurting kids,
Yeah.
and they pull them out, I mean, they had kids in these ranches.
I heard about it. I
Yeah,
saw, what's
yeah.
her name? That girl?
Leah Remini
Yeah,
in
she's
the
great.
aftermath.
Yeah.
There's so much more content now since her stuff that all those people now have their own channels. It's called SPTV. I'm a member of a network of protesters all over the world now,
Okay.
and it all just bloomed since last year. And so there's over 100 of channels like me, just small little channels of people just coming out and making them close their doors because they want to be able to stand out here and get these kids to come in.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here. I come just to make them close their door, and they do. When we walk up, they close the doors and close the blinds. How many churches you know does that? That has to close their doors and their blinds because you're standing outside.
I think my ex-girlfriend went to well, she's the one that's real smart. In 2007, she told me all about the history about this
Yeah.
and the government and everything and all
If
that.
you go on YouTube, there's around 50 ex-member channels. Growing Up in Scientology is a good one that really are telling their stories from the first person now.
Yeah. 'Cause
And
I remember one of those guys was leading over here and
because the thing about the Aftermath show, there was a lot of things that were cut
yeah.
to fit, you know, that they couldn't put everything out. But now that these people have their own channels, they can put their story out the way they want to.
Oh.
See, there was a producer on that show that kind of, you know, it was a show. So there was things that were cut that, you know, the people were upset about, that they wanted out.
Yeah.
And so now they all have their own channels and they're telling their story.
Okay.
So you should go check them out.
Well, I support people who do this. I mean, like, you know, because I mean, back then you couldn't do it, or else it would kill you
Yeah,
automatically. you
it's
know?
a new animal now because they can't fight
Yeah.
social media. They lived in secrecy for 70 years and now they can't.
That's
So-
what I saw. Like, who in the hell will want to pay 55,000 or see? Like, I'm just gonna see a middle finger from me. Like, yeah,
I
'cause,
know. It's not really new members. It's
Yeah.
mostly people that got in the 70s when it was Dianetics,
Yeah.
LRH, and then what you see in here now, if they're young, they're second and third generation. They were indoctrinated as kids. And they've been pulled out of school at age 12
yeah.
to work and don't even have an education.
Wow.
Yeah.
All make slaves.
That's why I'm here, because the children, I don't know, because I've actually never seen the show. I got involved in the YouTube part
Yeah.
of it.
Uh-huh.
And, shoot, forgot what I was going to say. It went right out of my head. But, they don't believe their kids are kids.
Uh-huh.
Because they live multiple lives, they believe they're adults in small bodies. So there's rampant child abuse. And that's what a lot of these people escaping are telling us.
Is it like the Mormons also? But
No.
but like the
It's
Mormons,
not the same.
Yeah.
No, this is way different because this was a science fiction, right? They don't have a deity. It's about the tech. It's a money-making scheme.
Yeah.
It's a real estate scheme. They own so much property that it's ridiculous.
Wow.
He bought this building 55 years ago because it was next to campus. It took him 55 years to remodel it and staff it. They couldn't find enough. they tell their members they're the fastest growing religion in the world, and they're the fastest shrinking religion in the world. So they had to bring. Normally you wouldn't see Sea Org in here, but they had to pull Sea Org from other places to staff it.
Yeah.
He had to open it because what it is he wouldn't use church funds to remodel. They bought these big buildings back in the early 2000s, and they had to fundraise their own money and remodel it. Well, there was actually a son of a prominent family that got student loans and gave it, and then or they'll rack up credit card debt because you get kudos for the more money you donate. And it's kind of like if you go to an event, they'll herd you into a room to write checks. You can't leave. And so they pressure you into giving this money. And you get special kudos and stuff. So that's what the public get out of it. They get shystered into it, and then they get pressured, and then, a lot of times, even a public, their jobs with Scientology, all their families in Scientology. So even if they wanted to leave, they can't, even as a public, because they would have to be disconnected.
I think it was, what's her name? Does it come out in Cheers?
Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, she jumped via Remy by saying stuff like that. I said, well, I thought it's called freedom of speech.
Yep, and that's what we're here for, because they can't do anything about us.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go
they're trying in LA. They're paying the street people to attack them.
Oh God.
So, but thanks for stopping.
Yeah,
Appreciate
my
you
name's
listening.
Robert. Okay.
My hand's very sticky right now.
Good.
I've
Nice
been
to meet you.
sweating.
Okay.
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 My hand is really sticky. That's what's grossing me out. So he kind of wanted to go. I try to get as much in as I can before they go. So anyway, what if the thing I would, even if you don't want it, this is actually a gimbal, but it's only so the really good gimbals are what they call 4-axis. It's like front, back, and like left, right, or whatever. This one only goes left, right. So it would like hold my phone. It's not turned on. So like it would keep my phone straight if I go like this. But it never worked because I think it was my phone. I have a fold phone and it was off center. So I literally would just lock it and just use it as a selfie stick. And this is what I started with. And this is what I used until I got the tripod. And I keep it in my bag because it's low tech. It does have the remote if you want to take pictures, and because it has, because I see people asking, because I see people just holding their phones. I knew I couldn't do that. I knew I had to have something. So it has a built-in tripod in the handle. And I literally used this at Squirrel Fest, sitting almost on a stone, and it's really, really tall. So I don't know. I don't think I could use it. Okay, so yeah, it would have to sit on a table. But anyway, I look at customer reviews on everything I do. This was one that got pretty good reviews. It was $26, and it folds up small. So, I was Girl Scout, the Girl Guide. Yeah, I know what they are too. They started as Girl Guides. Yeah. I have a change of clothes in the car. If I go any more than 20 minutes or so away from my house, I mean, I've had things happen. You never know when you're going to spill something on yourself. You never know if somebody else is going to get something on you or whatever. So I always have a change of clothes. I have 3 days of meds with me in case I get arrested, all that kind of stuff. And I have this in case something happens to my tripod, or I want to use the gimbal and it dies or something. Because this does turn on. It does have power. Let's see if you can see it. It hasn't been calibrated in a while. So watch. See what it does. So if you have your phone in it, it keeps your phone straight this way. But it didn't do anything for bouncing when I was walking around. So that's why I got the other gimbal, because they did say at Squirrel Fest it helped. So like, and then and it'll change direction. It doesn't have anything in it, so it's confused. So anybody that, I should put, you know what, I'm going to do a little video just like I just did for any of the new, because I see so many of the new protesters just carrying their phones. They don't even have a selfie stick. I mean, this is literally just a glorified selfie stick because this part never works. I just lock it. So I usually have it out, but you can, you know, adjust it and you can hold it. Sometimes I would hold it against me to help, you know, the weight. And it's actually very lightweight. The other gimbal is kind of heavy. So anybody that is interested, I might do a little quick video with links one day of all the stuff. Because I also bought mics, cheap ones. I also bought, because this takes an HDMI and so does my earbuds, I have a little container, it's $5 with all these different adapters that can go on a one cord. So I have one cord and all these adapters too. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I've got, you know, baby wipes. I used to have a roll of toilet paper in there and I don't know where it went. My hands are so sticky, guys. Oh. Yeah. The one good thing about this location is it's mostly shaded because it's so freaking tall that I come so late. Now, if I was here before noon, I would be in the sun. But SPTV Foundation.org. Give them a call. If you want to go right now, we can go get in my vehicle and I will take you to the airport and send you wherever your family is, wherever you want to go. Of course, I need help. Well, just saying. All right. So, what am I waving around? You talking about the gimbal I had in my hand? Yeah, I talked about that. In Canada, yeah, Girl Guides, and I think, are they Girl Guides in England too? Because I believe they started in England, if I remember. Yeah, it's a nice gimbal. It's cheap though. And then I have the other one too that I was talking about. So I went ahead and got this one. I think it was $149. I got this to get the tripod. You add to it, and I asked Aaron because he liked it. And the issue I was worried about, that I'm not anymore, is if somebody smacks the phone out of your hand or smacks it, this part goes on your phone and it's magnetic. And I worried about that. But it is a very, 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 and I like that it doesn't turn on until you open it. And see, what I wanted was, this is focus. Now this works up and down, but I can't use the focus if I'm live streaming. You can only use it if you're video. So this goes on your phone and snaps on. So I like it, but I got the tripod and I did use it at Squirrel Fest. Why won't it close right? I closed this thing 100 times just fine. Ah, that's why. Okay. There we go. I haven't messed with it in a long time. What the heck? There we go. Alright, now we're turned off. So it turns on when you open it and turns off when you fold it. And it comes with a little bag. And this is the one I see one almost exactly like it. You see everybody with. But to be honest, when you're live streaming, the only thing that now there is an AI in it, but I don't know if it's available in live streaming. So there's an AI on it that'll follow, like if you're doing it by yourself, and you want to stay in the frame, the AI will make the camera follow you and stuff like that. I mean, I still don't know how to use it. So I used it at Squirrel Fest just because I knew I'd be walking and bouncing. And I knew that the gimbal, or the selfie stick, would bounce. That's really the only time I've used it. I see Pearl Snappy hooking her gimbal to her tripod, but I don't. It comes with a holder that holds your phone like this, and I just use it. I don't have, because if I added my gimbal, it'd be way taller. And I don't know if you noticed, actually it's a little bit higher than usual. I bring it down low, so you're not looking up my nostrils when I'm trying to use my bifocals. Rain fog room raid. Another room raid? Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Mine has one that goes up to 6 or 7. 6 or 7 feet. Oh. This one goes to, I think, 67 inches. 61 or, I'm 62 inches. And I know it goes taller than me if I wanted it to. But yeah, this one. And this one, my tripod was only $19.99. I'm paying for that gimbal was hard. Really hard. So everything else I've bought up to date has been cheap. And this was a $19.99 tripod. And I love it. It even has all this extra, it has levelers, it has this handle to move it around and all kinds of, I mean, I love it. It's great. Brian Fogg sent me all the way from San Fran. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the only other duty station I've ever had was Monterey, California, and there was nothing around us. Literally, if you wanted Pizza Hut, you had to go up to San Jose, which is right next to San Francisco. And then my daughter got flown to San Francisco right after she was born to the neonatal unit up there. It was an hour. Usually took us about an hour and 25 minutes to get to San Francisco, hour and 15. That's the same distance I'm going right now. So we that's the airport we used if you flew in or out. So I did go into San Francisco a few times. And when she was in the hospital, we went to the Golden Gate Park and all that with because my son was 5 at the time. Yeah, I'm kind of babbling now. I try to always have a title and a subject that I want to talk about, at least for part of it. Yes, I'm here to protest, and maybe they'll hear me talking about it, but I do like to talk about what's going on in the SPTV community. And my last live, I don't know what happened, but I totally forgot what I even put in my title, and we never even talked about it. I hate if I do that. So I may have to write notes from now on so I don't get lost. Watch this. Watch the Lord. I always say the same things. I gotta come up with something else. I always talk about the Bentley and I always talk about the handmade shoes and they don't make any money. I need to come up with something else he spends his money on. I do bring up the $50 million office building he built in the imp base. Why did he leave the imp base to come to LA? The only thing I can think is there's more stuff to do in LA. He was tired of being isolated. I don't know. Or maybe it's because he was opening all this stuff. He didn't want to have to drive so far. I'm kind of curious about that. When and why. I try to come 3 days a week. I hate being on a schedule because they know when I'm coming, but it just kind of works out that way. But I don't usually come on Mondays because I took Saturday and Sunday off. I normally come Saturday. I try to make myself come 3 days a week because when I'm gone from my house no less than 6 hours, sometimes longer, depending on traffic. Like if I don't get out of here by 4:30 and get to the freeway, it's a 2-hour plus drive home some days. And plus, if I'm on here 2.5 hours, then that just extends it. But like I said, nobody misses me because my husband works nights and he's asleep. So I don't come on his good days off, which is Wednesday. You'll probably never. Well, he came with me one time on a Wednesday, but he stayed pretty far. He didn't want to be on camera. But they must have noticed that he was with us because my husband went to go to the vehicle and he got part of the way there and he forgot something from me and turned around to come back and somebody was following him and stopped and didn't know what to do, turned around and ran off or walked off real fast. So if they don't have my license plate by now, they're slacking. But I come a weird way, a long way sometimes. Depends. I park different places all the time. When I leave, I'll go, and when I get to intersections, I turn around and I look to see if anybody's following me. And I might, if I think there's somebody following me, I might go a different direction for a little while. So I at least make them work for it if they want my information. Fluffer, what's up? The doors are breathe in, breathe out. I know, right? I need something good to say. I have a headache and I can't. I always say the foundation. I always say the handmade shoes, the expensive car. Give me something to say. Yeah, the thing is, media, I will the night before because people that watch me like to know ahead of time. I wish I could just pop in, but to be honest, I'm so much on a schedule that, and to be honest, if I put out there I'm gonna be here the next, yeah.
I've always been curious why Scientology.
Because they a cult doesn't let their members leave.
You don't let them leave?
No.
How do they keep them? I don't know.
Okay. Pull up a chair. Okay. So the CR. I'll do it quick then. Okay. You know what? I am Miss Kim SP. Miss Kim SP. Because I just did I do big spiels all the time. Either that, but just real quick. So they have different levels. They have public, which would be like, say, just a regular person going in doing their courses. They don't have a deity. They don't believe in anything like that. It's about the tech and these courses. Okay, that's what Tom Cruise and all them do, and they spend $150,000 to do it. Then you have staff. Staff signs a 2 to 5 year contract to get paid $200 a week if the org makes money. And so they work 80 to 100 hours a week, and they have to have a second job. A lot of times they have a spouse. So then you have Sea Org. The Sea Org is it's almost like their Navy. They do have a ship, by the way. And they make $50 a week. They're usually the kids of members or previous Sea Org that they have pulled out of school at sometimes age 12. They don't have an education. They work 110 hours a week, and they sign a billion-year contract because they believe they're going to live multiple lives. And they're not allowed to have internet, cell phone, nothing. So they've been indoctrinated since they were kids. And if they try to leave, we've had people escape in the trunks of cars. We had somebody escape on their motorcycle, and they ran off the road. And the only reason they got away is a passerby, because this was in the boonies in California, in one of their bases. A passerby called the cops, or they would have drug him back. And if they think you want to leave, they will put you in a room with a guard. They have a big blue building and a big area like base in LA. And recently there's a bunch of TikTokers and stuff that are doing this over there. And somebody taped the help me sign in the window. And they told the cops, well, the LAPD's in their pocket. For 50 years, they've been hiring them for their events and paying them triple rate. So, yeah, they literally don't, and you're not, as even a public that lives like a kind of normal life, if you look at anyone that's anti-Scientology or has been a declared person, which means you've been declared, you're an ex-member, then they destroy families. If, let's say, my husband and my family was all in Scientology, but I left, he would have to divorce me to be in good standing. They destroy families. They make you disconnect from your whole family if you want to get out.
Thank you so much. They're strange. One of them, they're really weird.
They've lived this. If they're in a uniform, they've probably lived this their whole life, and they don't know anything. And they've been told we're evil, that there's all this horrible things going on out here in the real world, and that's why they don't want to listen to us. But we know ex-members. There's a lot of ex-members that have channels now. It just blew up this last year. There's over 100 of us protest channels all over the world. And so they're coming out and they're saying that way back in the late 90s when Anonymous was protesting, they saw the signs and it put a seed in their brain that eventually they got out. But it's not easy.
Thank you.
Educated, they didn't know. It's hard to find people that don't know. They were in a hurry. They told me they were in a hurry, and I was like, okay, let's get this in there quick. This is my second bottle. The third bottle's warm, so I haven't gotten to it yet. Oh, I've been in Texas for 30 years. I drink a gallon of water every day, and that's when I'm inside. I stopped drinking soda 2006, I think. But I started drinking cold brew coffee probably last year sometime. It's been 6 to 8 months. It stained my teeth. That's why I don't like to be on camera. I didn't even realize till I was ready to do this how bad they look. And it's not from regular coffee. I only drink 1 cup of hot coffee a day maybe. But I found this cold brew I bought at the store. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make this at home because I was getting it at the coffee shop every once in a while. Oh my gosh, I drink like 3 of those a day. And it's, wow. I never had a problem with my teeth being discolored. But I'm like, with my disease affecting the adrenal gland, I don't have energy all day. I have to take some form of caffeine. I was doing other things for caffeine, but I needed it more, especially once this started. I drink a 30-ounce tumbler on the way here because that's usually, no, I usually drink 1 in the morning. So yeah, when I get here, I'm like, oh, but that's what keeps me going. But before I started with the cold brew, I just drank ice water. And I have a nugget ice maker, so I eat the ice too. So yeah, I do drink it with a straw, but I'm trying to make sure that I put the straw farther past my teeth. That's the thing. Yeah. So, and I was gonna get my teeth whitened at the dentist, but a couple of weeks ago, my daughter called me from California. Her cat was sick, and we used our care credit for the dentist and stuff. And we spent $1,500 trying to save her cat, which he ended up. I'm very upset with the vet that she used, the emergency vet. They didn't do the things they should have done. This was our 4th boy cat that had the bladder crystals, and we knew exactly what to expect. Only 1 survived, and it was the very first one because they cathetered him immediately. Well, they didn't do that with the other cats. So my dental aspirations had to be put on the back burner for a little while. But we could not try. Our pets are family. So, and you know, she moved to California, and we tried to tell her, honey, it was 2 summers ago, there's an inflation. She's like, yeah, but minimum wage is $15 an hour. I'm like, hun, everything else is going to cost more. She's just lucky that she now works from home and doesn't have to put gas in the car. Because when I went, so I rented a car, and she lives near Riverside, which is kind of inland a little bit. It takes about an hour to get to the coast. I had to go to Burbank for an event, and because I was there for a month, and I rented a car, and it was an hour and a half to get there, an hour back. Traffic was different. When I went to turn in the car, the gas to fill the tank cost, and it wasn't even the whole tank, it cost more than the car rental. I forgot gas was almost $7 a gallon. Totally did not. I was like, oh my goodness, I was not expecting that. I could have Ubered. It was $70 to Uber there and $70 back. So what is that, $140? It would have been cheaper to Uber. It wasn't much more. The car rental I got a good deal on, but once I put the gas in it, I could have Ubered, which meant I could have had a few beers and come home. But that's okay. So If I do it again, if there's another LA meetup, I'll probably be staying with my daughter. I'm gonna Uber. Screw renting a car. I'm not even gonna drive. Driving there was like so scary. But yeah, thanks, Gail. Yeah, no, I do drink it with straw, and I also noticed I don't smoke or anything. And so I never had these wrinkles right here that sometimes smokers have. And when we were taking that picture with the caution tape, a few of the pictures I was like, because I was looking mean, I'm like, I have wrinkles right here. And I thought about it, and I'm like, it's from a straw. And I've only been really drinking with a straw because my ice water I didn't drink with a straw. Not even a year. And that's all it took. I'm like, wrinkles. So I got to figure out what to do about them wrinkles. I need to just stop drinking the cold brew, but I kind of need it. It's kind of medically necessary because so the way fibromyalgia works, a lot of people don't realize, it affects the brain and central nervous system. It attacks the pituitary gland, which then affects the adrenal gland. Our fight or flight mechanism is always turned on. So that's why you hear me yell when there's a loud noise. I'm constantly on edge. I get trigger point injections with just lidocaine, not with steroids or anything, every 4 weeks, from the base of my skull all the way out my shoulders, all the way down the inside of my shoulder blades. I get about 12 on each side to release, and all it is the needling releases the knots that are in like this all the time. So getting up, if I take a shower, get dressed, make breakfast, that might be my energy for the day. So, and you don't make more like other people do. On top of that, when you sleep, I forget what it's called. There's a name for it. I totally blanked. I don't get into what the stage 4 sleep. Most people know about REM. Well, REM, you're only in a short time at night, and that's when your mind is most active and when you dream. Stage 4 sleep is when you're resting and your body is repairing itself. And that's where you wake up refreshed. I don't get to stage 4. So I can sleep 8 to 12 hours and wake up and feel like I never slept. That's kind of what happened last night. I went to bed at 2, and I didn't get up until my alarm was going off around 9:30, between 9:30 and 10. I turned it off and slept till 11. And other people, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you slept till 11. I woke up so tired, like I never slept. And that's just, it doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes I feel like I did sleep well. So, or you can't get to sleep at all. And there were times way back in the early days before I changed my diet where if I got 2 straight hours of sleep, I was happy. I'm going to tell you about something. So anybody with, there's several diseases this can go with, but fibro is one of them because of the adrenal problem. If you ever go on YouTube and just type in spoon theory. So this woman with chronic pain, I thought she had fibromyalgia, but I think she might have had something else, but similar. She was trying to explain to her friend what it was like for her in the day. They couldn't understand why she wasn't going, she was canceling outings, why she never, wanted to do anything or leave the house or this or that. And she said, look, you have to understand. Most people, when they wake up, they have an unlimited amount of spoons, energy. If, you utilize some energy, if you eat something or you rest, or whatever, you can get more energy. When we wake up, we have a certain number of spoons. Let's say we have, I think she's 6 or 8, maybe 8 spoons, okay? So you wake up, you take a shower. These are spoons. You take a shower, you get dressed, you make breakfast. I think it was 6 spoons. Vacuum the living room. Unload the dishwasher. make lunch. That's it. All your spoons are gone for the day, and you're done. You are done. You have no more energy, and you just can't bring yourself to do anything else. And that's the way I was for a really, really long time. I don't know why I'm doing better now. I mean, I did change my diet, which helped a lot. Getting rid of gluten and processed foods helped the inflammation and everything, and helped me get out of bed a lot more early on. So I don't know if it's the caffeine or just my motivation to be here that is helping me get here. I don't know. Like I said, things happen for a reason. Maybe I'm just feeling better because I need to be here. But so, like, you know, this morning, yeah, I was tired. I thought real hard about canceling. And I'm like, this is why somebody said not to pre-schedule. If I pre-schedule and I say I'm going to be here at a certain time, and I'm just, you know, hee-hawing around in the morning like, oh, I don't really want to go, I'm tired, that motivates me to come anyway. And really, once I'm out of the house, once I'm dressed, once I'm ready to go, once I'm in the car and I'm fine. And I've had some caffeine. You know, it kind of goes away for me. So well, I have been here almost 3 hours today. I appreciate everybody that hung out. Y'all been with me for quite a while, but if there is, can somebody give me somebody that's live right now that we can go? Is Corn Freak or Nance or any of those people on right now? It's getting later in the day. No problem. I gave you my phone number in the email. Text me about what you asked me, and we'll figure it out. If there's somebody live, I don't know how to look without kicking y'all out. Go give somebody some time, a few minutes of your time. I'll find somebody to watch on the way home. And I need to go. It's 2 hours and 46 minutes. Thanks, Gail. Thank you. You all have a great day, and I will see you sometime this week. Bye, all.